Thanks so much for joining me today. I want to talk about a subject that comes up a lot in the fibro community, and that subject would be mourning who you used to be, living a life of fibromyalgia, and how to find hope. And I want to tell you exactly how I found hope and how I found acceptance with fibromyalgia. But before I do, please take a second to subscribe to my channel and share this video to as many as you can. You never know who might need to hear this today, and I want to reach as many men and women as possible who suffer with this illness. So just take a quick second, hit subscribe, and you'll be notified when new videos come out. So stay tuned. Have you ever sat and thought, I just want to be who I used to be? I just want my life back. I know I've spent hours and hours, days, years in the grieving process of who I used to be. I was missing my old self. I was missing the thin, vibrant, energetic, athletic woman that I used to be who had no pain. And I wanted her back. I emotionally turned the lights off and climbed in my cave and just said, okay, you have this illness, so you're just going to have to surrender. You're going to have to give in to the fact that you're going to live with this for the rest of your life, and you're going to have pain for the rest of your life. And then something else would say, but how do you do that? How are you going to live another 40, 50 years in pain, in agony, in defeat, fatigued? Pain has not only changed me, but it's changed how I see life. It is like a grieving process. You sit and think, okay, first of all, you're in denial. You're in denial that this is happening to you. You can't believe that this is what your life has turned into. Then you have sorrow, depression, anger, and in the end, you have acceptance. And grieving is different for everyone. Some grieve for shorter periods of time, some grieve for longer periods of time. And I didn't spend a whole lot of time grieving because, number one, I'm type A. Number two, everything I have to control in my life. It has to be controlled by me. Sometimes it's a fault. Sometimes it's a positive thing to have. But I found that having this illness, I couldn't control it. I couldn't control what was going on inside, making me so sick. And it used to frustrate me so much that I couldn't get my hands on it, and I couldn't just control it. So that was the anger part. There came a point in time in my illness that I decided that I had to stop living in the past. I started to meditate. I started to journal. I started picking up practices from Reiki about how to cut the ties of who I once was. Cut the rope strings that were keeping me anchored to my past. And it wasn't an easy thing to do at all. But the best idea that I could come up with was to build a fire. And I went to the back, I built a bonfire, went out there with some Post-it notes, and on each Post-it note I wrote who I used to be and what I no longer wanted in my life. I wrote on Post-it notes traumatic experiences that happened in my past, and I burned them. And on the last Post-it note, I wrote, I release you. And that started my new walk with fibromyalgia, my new life with fibromyalgia. I want you to know that you cannot live in the past. You may be mourning who you were, but that's not who you are now. it's physically impossible to live in the past. Mentally, you can think over and over and over, this is who I used to be, this is what I want back. You're not going to get those things back. You have to accept the fact that those things are gone. You don't live there. It no longer serves you in your life. And the more you live there, the more you're taking you away from your family, from your friends, from your children. Your family needs you. Your children need you. Your grandchildren need you. Your spouse needs you. If your parents are still here with you, they need you. The world needs you. But how can you make yourself available if you're living back there where you're not? It's not an easy process. It's not easy accepting fibromyalgia as a part of your life. But it's also important that you don't let fibro define who you are, because that's not who you are. It's what you have. It's what you have to cope with every day. It's what you have to deal with every day, but it's not who you are. I learned that fibromyalgia, or pain, has taught me how to be braver, wiser, more empathetic, more compassionate, more driven. It has literally changed who I am. And I've made it change me into a positive new me. Because I don't want to live a life in misery, in isolation, in depression, with anxiety. I don't want to live that way. So what did I start doing? I started thinking about what I could control with this illness, what I could put my hands on and control. And that was my mental and emotional way of thinking and feeling. I may not be able to control that this illness has ravaged my body, but I can control how I react to it, how I deal with it, how I live with it, how I think about it. And I do that on a daily basis. I work on it every single day. And trust me, there are days that I just say, give up. Just surrender. And I'm not a surrendering type. I'm a fighter. Always have been. I've never let anything walk all over me. I stood up. I started to think, okay, we go to battle every single day. This syndrome, disease, illness is fighting against our bodies every day. And every day our body puts its armor on and goes to war. And all too often I hear women say, I'm weak, I give up, I can't do this anymore, I have no hope, I see nothing positive in the future. And I tell them, do you realize what you do every day? Do you realize that you go to battle every single day? Do you realize that in the physical sense of battle or war, we go out, we put our armor on, and we fight a good fight? If we surrendered, would we ever win the battle? Well, no. If you lay your armor down and say, I give up, you've lost the battle. But every day that you go to bed at the end of the day, you need to tell yourself, I conquered this day. I conquered it, and I conquered it well. And these are the things that I did today that pushed me. You no longer live where you used to be. Yes, pain's made you different. Pain's changed who you are. But how has it changed you? Who has it made you be or made you see who you are? I can guarantee you, you're a beautiful person inside and out. Do not let pain and this illness define you or take over your life. Stop letting it walk all over you. Stand up and say, no more. And this is what I need to do to move forward. And if that's building a fire and writing on Post-its who you used to be and burning them, and then on the end saying, I release me or I release you, then so be it. You have to find a way to become mindful in learning how to stop living there and stop living in the future, because you're not there either. You're right here. You're in this present time. And if you are living in the past and looking to the future, how are you even living a life today? You're not. Because you're too caught up in what was and what will be. And what will be hasn't happened yet. So you have no idea what's going to happen in your future. But you can start today. You can start your journey today, looking up how to be mindful, reading about how to be mindful and how to let go. Because that's what you've got to do. You've got to let go. I hope this helped you today. I hope that I expressed what I really wanted to express. And I want to thank you all who have subscribed to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you again for helping me change the face of fibromyalgia. It's definitely a thing that we need. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, please, and share this video. Help me reach more women and men that suffer with this illness. And click below to watch more videos, and you can click my little round picture to subscribe. Thanks so much for helping me change the face of fibromyalgia. See you next time.